Welcome in the Quest Number 9 podcast. My name is Seth Warner. Today we're going to talk about Kentucky basketball from a fan's perspective. On this episode, we're going to be recapping Kentucky's 84-75 win over Illinois, where in this game was the round of 32 where Kentucky was matching up with Illinois, that we all know. And Kentucky coming off their big Troy win in the round of 64 to really get over that hump. That first win is always very important for a team to be able to overcome that and get their feet wet when it comes to the tournament. And in this game, Kentucky really came out strong after being down. It was 4-2 early on. Kentucky never fell behind, leading for almost 35 minutes, and really being able to control the pace of the game, really getting contributions from a little bit of everybody in different ways. Andrew Carr had some big rebounds down the stretch. Kobe Brea had his own 10-0 run. They were really able to dominate defensively. In the first 11 minutes, they only gave up 13 points and created 8 early turnovers, allowing Kentucky to outscore Illinois on transition points by 20 points. And that really gave Kentucky a cushion to really work with down the stretch when this good Illinois team is going to make their runs like they do. And also in this game, Kentucky got more bench production than they typically do on bad nights where Kentucky usually loses. We had 20 total bench points, really being a balanced effort from the bench, having no one in double figures, but having multiple guys with more than just one bucket each. And also having big minutes from Colin Chandler coming in, knocking down 2 big threes, playing 18 minutes, really being active defensively, allowing Kentucky to have that early lead. He was the first sub into the game. Otega picked up 2 early fouls, but overall had a strong game, shooting 50% from the field, 6 for 12, but still had several layups that I felt like he had a lot of contact on that he could have finished because he's just a bull and he's that strong. Andrew Carr also not offensively was his best game, but did a lot of other things, having 6 boards, 2 assists with only 1 turnover. This Kentucky team did a really good job on their turnovers, only having 5 turnovers in this game compared to Illinois' 14. Really controlled the turnover battle, taking Illinois out of transition and making this Illinois team have to go through Kentucky in a set defense to be able to score. And also a big thing in this game, down the stretch, Kentucky had a cushion. So when they were going basket for basket with Illinois, as Kentucky does sometimes, they were able to keep control of the pace of the game. And even if they lost control at certain points, they were still able to recover and make winning plays down the stretch. For Illinois, Big Z's little brother, he played well. They didn't shoot the 3 as a team well. They shot a high volume, shooting 32 threes at about 28%, a little bit under season average, but about they shoot 31% season average. So not too far off, but still made 9 threes, allowing them to really keep themselves in the game. Visage on catch and shoot, pick and pop, especially when Kentucky wasn't switching the pick and roll, was really a big issue. I thought a really impressive play from Kobe Brea in the pick and roll was he switched and was able to jump that pass on the pop and was able to get a steal out of it. And also that pick and roll, there were several really good plays. Also, Amari Williams had a really nice block of the 7-1 center of usage and really make him feel uncomfortable with Amari having that physical aspect while still doing a good job of closing out hard. And Avicic is not a guy that's going to take more than 3 dribbles, even if he has the advantage and has you in rotation. He's going to try to make a play and pass. It's like I said, played 31 minutes. They really relied on their starting 5 in this game, having 4 out of their starters play over 30 minutes with 2 guys at 37 minutes or more, at 37 and 38 respectively, and then 31 and 31. And then Will Riley, who really struggled in this game, played 26 minutes. He was 1 for 7 from the field, 5 points, 6 boards. He just struggled to shoot the ball. Otego did a good job on him. Colin Chandler had some run. And overall, I thought Kentucky really did a good job being physical with their guys that could be potential pros going forward and making it just really hard on this Illinois team to really get anything going consistently. Illinois did a good job on the boards, winning at 44-36. Their second chance opportunities is really what kept them in this game, winning the offensive rebounding battle 12-9. And overall, they were just able to make some big time shots. I felt like, in particular, the first half and big time plays. Boswell did a good job of that, keeping this Illinois team afloat in the first half where Kentucky was going on some runs. Never got the lead over like 12 or 13, was able to get it up to about 15 or 16 in the second half. But Illinois always came on a run to respond to keep it around 9 or 10 the whole game, and it went into halftime at about 5 points. So Illinois overall was just a team that came in this game with a lot of runs, a lot of strong runs to keep Kentucky on their toes and not ever fall asleep and let go of the rope and coast to the victory. Like I kind of noted, Otega Owe, he had 15 points, 4 rebounds. Kobe Brea, like I said, had the big steal, but he also had a bunch of other big plays going on his own 10-0 run. He had 23 points, 6 boards, 1 assist. Not the most efficient night for him from beyond the arc, 3 for 8, but was really efficient from the field, being 10 for 16. Boswell guarded Kobe for that last stretch, last probably 5 or 10 minutes of the game. And I thought Kobe did a good job, pump fakes, and making him try to contest hard because he has several inches on Boswell and using his size to shoot over the top. And usually when you're taller than the other player, they go for a lot more pump fakes. So he was effective using that. Strong on the glass. Lamont Butler had a strong performance in this first half in particular, having 12 of his points in the first half, but he still ended up with 5 assists, 2 boards. Was just really efficient like Lamont Butler is. 4 for 5 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. And it's that 1 3 he missed, he was really strong, and it was there. And he already made 2. He was already 2 for 2 from 3 going into that shot. Ansley Almanor came in at the end of the game and knocked down some big free throws to close the game, allowing Kentucky to go up by double digits again with under a minute left and really kind of seal the game, putting him in as a guy that makes good decisions, will knock down free throws. And we went with Andrew Carr as our center, just so we have as much ball handling and as good as free throws as possible, because Amari Williams can handle it, but is not a good free throw shooter, allowing Kentucky to have a little bit more options. And especially that night with Amari Williams going 0 for 1 at the free throw line, and percentage wise, Andrew Carr is also better. So, but he also affected the game, having 8 points, 10 boards, and 6 assists, and having some big defensive plays, like I said, and overall just being one of the most efficient and well-rounded players I felt like on the floor, having 3 blocks, 1 steal, and showing off his rangy athleticism and physicality. He struggled to finish on the interior, especially when in the post-up game, going 4 for 11 from the field. And some of those shots were momentum killers at times, but I thought Amari really did a good job of keeping Kentucky afloat and really making it hard on that drop coverage that this Illinois team was playing. He was picking them apart even though they were playing that drop coverage and making it so that Illinois felt like they really couldn't do anything else defensively to make Amari be out of rhythm. And also Kentucky down the stretch got a little cold before the 2-minute mark, missed 10 of their last 11 field goals after that big run to start the second half, going pretty far into the second half, but going cold after that for the Wildcats and really not being able to create sustainable momentum after that. That was when Illinois really went on their run, but Kentucky was still able to hold on and survive and advance. And now for this Kentucky team, they're advancing to the Sweet 16, where the Wildcats are going to be matching up with a familiar foe in Tennessee, a team that they've already played twice this year, had swept the series, both without Lamont Butler, or he was very limited in the second matchup with Tennessee, but He did not play in the first one, but Kentucky was able to win by 11. This is the game that Lamont Butler got hurt in at Rupp Arena, where he re-aggravated his shoulder. Played 22 minutes in this game. Really started out good, having 6 points, 3 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, but still having 3 rebounds and 4 assists. Only playing 22 minutes. He probably would have played quite a bit more because 2 of the other starters played over 30 minutes. We did not have Andrew Carr was still coming off the bench at this point. He only had 2 points. And Jackson Robinson, who won't play in this game, was out. So that was kind of the injury report at that point. Andrew Carr still wasn't 100% coming off the bench. Jackson Robinson wasn't playing. And Lamont Butler re-injured his shoulder in his second game back. And in this game, Kentucky really did not get much from the power forward position, only getting 8 points combined. We didn't get a whole lot of offensive from the center position. We got 11 total points and only 8 boards from 2 guys. But I'd like to see Amari Williams play better in this game. He only had 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. He was 3 for 5 from the field and only attempted 1 free throw against his Tennessee team. He has some physicality and strength advantages. Also, being able to handle it on the perimeter makes some matchup problems for this Tennessee team. I'd like to see him get to the free throw line more and overall just be more effective in this game. But Kentucky was able to pull out the win with 4 blocks from the team, being able to protect the rim against Kai Ziegler is important because he's a smaller guard. His shot is easier to block and be able to protect the rim because he's an elite driver, but not leave shooters open and be active on our rotations. Our pick and pop defense is going to be important also in this game. Ignore Dimon, who's been really effective against Kentucky. He had several big performances, having 19 points in the first matchup with 9 boards, 4 assists. Him and Andrew Carr is going to be an interesting matchup. Somewhat similar, both like 6'10", 6'11 forwards who can do a lot of different things on the court. Probably a better shooter. Carr's probably a better post-up player and probably a little bit better passer. But he was able to really shoot it well in this game. 4 for 8 from 3, 6 for 10 from the field. And it was really hard in that pick and pop. But the one good thing about Tennessee, they usually play kind of a 2 big lineup with him and Flick. He typically starts for them, and he usually plays about 25 minutes a game. And he's more that bruised center who's not a good passer, averaging less than a half assist a game, and is that lob threat pick and roll guy. So the pick and pop is going to be not as hard to guard as Illinois. We might not have to switch it as much just because we can shrink the floor more with him on the floor compared to with that Illinois team that had a bunch of guys who could put it on the floor, shoot it, can do a bunch of stuff, with them having a little bit of space around Avicic shooting that 3 ball. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but they're a capable team that you still have to close out on and be ready and be prepared. Yeah, in this game, it's going to be important for Kentucky's bench production. Tennessee's not a super deep team, but they have some shooters that come off their bench. And the last time these 2 teams played, we had some big performances from Trent Noah, Travis Perry. Those 2 combined for 19 points and gave Kentucky a big spark off the bench, playing combined 21 minutes after Lamont Butler went out with his injury. Colin Chandler barely played in this game, only playing 3 minutes after him kind of having a breakout performance the last 3 or 4 games. It'll be interesting to see how he responds going into the Sweet 16. And for Kentucky, being able to guard screens is going to be really important, especially off-ball screens, as they love to run Chaz Lanier through a lot of those off-ball screens. Kentucky has done a really good job defending those the past games, forcing Chaz Lanier in their last matchup 3 for 13, 0 for 7 from 3. He played 31 minutes. He had 10 points with 4 fouls and just was really out of rhythm, only being able to make 3 field goals, did not make a 3 for a 40% three-point shooter who is not a guy that is kind of a Kobe Bryant-esque shooter, would prefer not to put it on the floor, would rather put in catch and shoot. And this guy that I'd want to see more in that pick and roll, even though Kobe Bray has gotten a lot better at it since the beginning of the season. He's not as big as Kobe Bray is, only being 6'4", where Kobe Bray is at least 6'6", 6'7", and has kind of that long wingspan to be able to shoot over top of guys. It's, I think, a good matchup for whoever we put on him with Colin Chandler or Otega Owe, who both had the speed, size, strength to keep up with him and make it hard for him to shoot over the top. And then it's going to be even more important that we have Lamont Butler back for point guard matchup in Sakai Ziegler, who he's just so tough, physical, averaging about 7 assists a game at 5'9", 5'10". He's averaging around 14 points, elite playmaker, elite in the pick and roll. He can knock down the three, but hasn't been very good against Kentucky knocking down the three. I would see them potentially first few possessions going under screens against him, containing and rotating from the backside on their other big guy that's not the shooter. And overall for Kentucky, we need to be able to control the boards. In this game, we end up losing the rebounding battle, but winning the 3-point, making 12 threes, making more threes, being able to rebound, keeping Tennessee off second chance points. That includes with the rebounding, because this Tennessee team can struggle to score offense at times, and that allows us to extend our leeway a little bit defensively if we give up any easy baskets. And offensively, I trust our execution, our shooting ability to space the floor. I like that Andrew Carr is more healthy to create some mismatches with their big guy, and his ability, our two big guys' ability to pass, put the ball on the floor, and be able to shoot. In particular, Andrew Carr will create some mismatches, and also being able to run Kobe Bray off some screens will be important. Also, with like always physicality, there's not a whole lot of guys that have his combination of speed and physicality, and especially after Kobe Bray's big performance, teams are going to be wary of him coming off screens and getting in that pick and roll action, because with his ability to have deep shooting, with his quick release and size, he's just hard to guard when he's hot. That's all from the Quest Number 9 podcast. My name is Seth Warner, and if you like this content, you can go find me at Quest Number 9 on Instagram and Twitter, aka X. And please like and subscribe would be appreciated, and I will see you next time.